Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, elders, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban to Madrasah TV show. I'm Ustaz Hamza. Boys and girls, today inshallah ta'ala we are looking at some very exciting segments in Madrasah TV show. Remember, Madrasah TV show is a show where we bring madrasah and everything you learn and everything you learn outside madrasah in this show. Boys and girls, today inshallah ta'ala we are looking at some very exciting things. Let's bring them up. We're going to learn about a surah in Qur'an. Sorry, left hand. We're going to start learning about a surah in Qur'an, inshallah ta'ala. We are looking at the 5th surah of Qur'an. We'll go to that in a second. Muslim invention, inshallah ta'ala. We're going to talk about something a Muslims invented. And then we are going to learn a Tajweed rule. And right at the end, inshallah ta'ala, each one of you will get a chance to call in and recite. Boys and girls, for those of you who wish to recite, call me in early, inshallah ta'ala, so you get a chance to recite. Yesterday, we had a lot of callers who wanted to recite, but today, inshallah ta'ala, everyone will get a chance, inshallah, to recite. Joining me on the show is the one and only Happy Bunny. There you go. Boys and girls, the first segment, inshallah ta'ala, is going to be a very important one. Grab your notebooks, pen, pencils, and some colors. And Bismillah, let's start, boys and girls. Let's start, inshallah ta'ala. The segment is called the one... wait, before I start, we're live on YouTube and I see some comments. Salih, Ikram, Huzair, Amira, Jannah, Ikram, Halima, and everyone else. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome. I want you guys to go ahead and hit the share button. I see more than 21 people live here, but only 7 likes. I don't know why. Guys, hit the like button and share this, inshallah ta'ala. Today's lesson is going to be very exciting. Let's start. The 114. Welcome. In this beautiful room, we are going to learn about a surah in Qur'an. Let's write it down. The surah of the day is... What is it? Wait a second. Is Surah Al-Ma'idah. Boys and girls, let's write the word Al-Ma'idah. Remember, this is a surah in Qur'an, and we are going to learn a lot about the surah. But first of all, how do we write the word Al-Ma'idah? Hamza? Lam, Mim, Alif, Al-Ma, Idah, Hamza, Dal, and then we have Ha. Al-Ma'idah, Surah Al-Ma'idah. Barakallahu fikum. Surah Al-Ma'idah. Now, what does it mean? Surah Al-Ma'idah means the table spread. It is a table, a surface where food is presented. We call it Ma'idah. There's something very similar to it in Arabs. They call it sufra. Sufra is like a piece of cloth or something that you put and then you spread food on top of it. Ma'idah is different, barakallahu fikum. This surah is Surah Madaniya, has 120 verses, and this surah is a very long surah, so the surah is in juz number 100. Juz number 6 and 7, barakallahu fikum. Now we are going to learn some very exciting, interesting things about this surah. At the end, I want you guys to contribute, inshallah ta'ala. My cousin's name is Ma'idah, someone is saying ahlan wa sahlan. Okay, I want you guys to drop some comments later on and tell me what is it that you know about this surah. But let's have a look, inshallah ta'ala. We've got some very interesting things that we will be learning about this surah. Now, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah Azza wa Jal establishes Allah as the true judge and reference in all matters. Yeah? Who's the true judge? Who has the authority to establish rules? It is Allah Azza wa Jal. The surah also discusses the permissibility and impermissibility of many things such as ihram, marriage, purification, prayer, food, animal, alcohol, gambling, judgment and punishment. Now, without me even telling you this is Surah Makkiyah or Madaniya, when a surah has a lot of ahkam, when the surah is full of rulings, then you know the surah was revealed in Medina. Yes, surah was revealed in Medina. Surahs that were revealed in Mecca, they were full of Tawheed, Allah Azza wa Jal, signs that prove Allah's existence, and the Day of Judgment, or even Tawheed. Barakallahu feekum. This surah is full of rulings, inshallah ta'ala. What else? What else? Well, we are going to learn 3 key informations about this surah. Number 1, revealed. This surah was revealed while the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was riding his she-camel. She couldn't bear the weight of the revelation on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he dismounted. Allahu Akbar. Yeah? So this surah revealed on the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and when surah was being revealed on the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, not everyone around the Prophet can see the angel Jibreel reciting Qur'an to the Prophet. But the revelation has its impact. And so the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, one of the narrations, there was a Sahabi, and the Sahabi was sitting right next to the Prophet, and the surah was being revealed on the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and the Prophet would teach that surah, guys, alayhi salatu wasalam, to the Sahaba. So one Sahabi said to him that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he put his hand, yes, on his knee, on his thigh, and he said that he was unable to bear that pressure that the Prophet was putting his hand on, and so he couldn't bear that pressure. So when the surah was revealing, or used to be revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, of course it is Kalamullah Azza wa Jal, it won't be something easy. Next, you guys are going to find this surah full of interesting facts. Have a look at this. Abdullah bin Amr said, the last surah to be revealed was Surah Al-Ma'idah and Surah Al-Fath. This is in Tirmidhi. There is another surah that is also considered as one of the last surahs to be revealed, and the surah is located somewhere in Juz Amma. Let's see. Someone is saying, I'm enjoying Ustaz Hamza's style of teaching. Well, why don't you guys go ahead and figure out what surah am I talking about? There's a surah in Juz Amma, and that surah is considered one of the last surahs to be revealed in Qur'an. Now, this surah, Surah Al-Ma'idah, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. This particular verse in this surah, which is on the 2nd page, is one of the last verses that were revealed in Qur'an. And this verse was revealed after the Hajj. Could be wrong. After Hajjatul Wida'. And yes, there is another surah that's also considered that one of the last surahs to be revealed on the Prophet. And the surah is Surah Al-Nasr. Well done, Jannah gets a badge, mashallah, tabarakallah. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. That is Surah Al-Nasr. Barakallahu feekum. When I was learning Qur'an, some of my teachers taught me the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. There is an ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah that is considered to be the last surah that was revealed on the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. But of course, some ulama have a different opinion that they would like to share. And the last ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah that is considered to be the last ayah that was revealed, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا تُرْجَعُونَ فِيهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. The ayah just before Ayat Ad-Dain. So this surah and everything in this surah, not everything, well, this surah was the last surah to be revealed. So doesn't mean the entire surah. Could mean some of the verses of this surah, barakallahu feekum, because the surah itself is very, very long. And the surahs used to reveal on the Prophet ﷺ on different occasions, not all of them in one go. So this entire surah is more than 30 pages. Not all of it will be revealed in one go. Barakallahu feekum. It has 16 calls for the believers. O you who believe, the most of any surah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Allah Azza wa Jal said this specific phrase, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, a lot of times in this surah, more than any other surah. What does it mean? O you who believe. When Allah Azza wa Jal is saying, O you who believe, and you're a believer, you better open your ears and listen to what Allah have to say. Once again, this surah is full of ahkam. Do this, don't do this. If you want to do this, then you must be this, you must be that. So Allah Azza wa Jal is talking to believers, people who have believed in Allah, and Allah Azza wa Jal is guiding them how to live your life. What is it that you should and what is it that you shouldn't do? Let's have a look at the inspirational verse from this surah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه لعلكم تفلحون. Barakallah fikum. O believers, intoxicants, gambling, idols, and drawing lots for decisions are all evil of shaitan's handiwork. So shun them, so you may be successful. So here, Allah Azza wa Jal is specifying certain things, and He is saying that these things are haram. I'm going to share a verse with you, inshallah ta'ala. I'm going to share a verse, inshallah ta'ala, from this surah. I just remember this verse here, and I think this verse is very, very, very important in this surah. And you guys can share the same, inshallah ta'ala, in the comment box. Have a look at this. Verse number 101 from this surah. I'm going to share with you, inshallah ta'ala. Let's see. Oh, you believe, do not ask about things which, if disclosed, would displease you. If you ask about them while the Qur'an is being revealed, they will be disclosed to you. Allah has pardoned you for it. Allah is most forgiving, forbearing. I find this ayah to be very, very interesting. And I know you guys, from Surah Al-Baqarah, there was the second surah we learned, Allah Azza wa Jal, yes, ordered Banu Israel, yes, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ Musa alayhi salam told his people to sacrifice a cow. These people, rather than going ahead and obeying the command of the messenger, because the command is coming from Allah, they started asking too many questions. And guess what happened? The task ended up becoming so difficult for them because they asked too many questions. So, this ayah also teaches us something, and that is, O who you believe, do not ask about things which, if disclosed, would displease you. For example, the teacher say to you, yes, tomorrow the class is at 4 p.m. Yes? And that's it. And he says nothing else. And you go and you say to teacher, Ustad, what if I don't come at 4? And the teacher will say, well, I'll give you 5 minutes and you better have a reason. And then you say, Ustad, but what if I come 10 minutes late? Now, you're not being smart here. You're telling the teacher that you're a lazy student and you might even come late. You see, you see that? And the teacher might not even thought about giving you a punishment or maybe detention, but now, because of your question, now he is thinking about. You see what I mean? So, a lot of too much questioning, too much unnecessary questioning. What if that, what if that? Whatever you know, implement it. Whatever the teacher tells you, small, tiny instructions, just do them, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? There's a lot we can learn from this surah. This surah also have a story of Habil and Qabil. Do you guys know that story? Oh yes, Habil, Qabil. The first ever murder that happened between two other human beings happened between Habil and Qabil. Also, in this surah, Allah Azza wa Jal talks about what is it that you can't do when you're wearing a ihram. So, for example, when you are traveling to Mecca and you're wearing a ihram, you are not allowed to sacrifice an animal. Yes? So people in the past, what they used to do, they used to stop at a restaurant and order. No, there were no restaurants. So what people used to do in the past, they would, yes, hunt fish. Yes, basically they would fish and they would eat fish because they're not allowed to sacrifice animals while they are wearing ihram. You can already guess how hard or difficult it is, inshallah ta'ala. So that's some of the things that we can learn in this surah, and there's a lot that Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in this surah. Once again, a lot of ahkam. For example, what is it that you can eat? What is it that you can't eat? Did you guys know you can eat sheep, but it can also be haram? Yeah, sheep. So if you sacrifice sheep, it still can be haram. How? Well, if the sheep, yes, if the sheep was a girl, how can it be haram? If the sheep wasn't even alive, or the sheep was fainted, or the sheep has some injuries, you're not allowed to have. Boys and girls, a short break, inshallah ta'ala. We'll be back. Stay with us. Come back after the break. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, boys and girls, to Madrasah TV show. I'm Ustaz Hamza. And let's continue, inshallah ta'ala, boys and girls. We are going to our second segment now. Muslim inventions, boys and girls. There's a lot that Muslims have done in this world. A lot of inventions, a lot of things that Muslims have invented that made our lives, everyone's life, very easy. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we are going to be looking at an invention that is considered the most important invention ever. Shall we talk about it? Bismillah. Boys and girls, for those of you watching live on social media, make sure you hit the share button and make sure you like, inshallah ta'ala, so we can reach as many people as we can, inshallah. Let's start. Boys and girls, today, Muslim inventions. Well, today in this segment, inshallah ta'ala, I'll be introducing you to something that you may have never heard of before. Something that will be very, very interesting. First of all, before I show you, what is it that Muslims have invented that changed the course of this entire world forever? Let me tell you something. Knowledge has a very special, unique place in our religion, Islam. One of the hadith could be a da'if hadith, from what I heard, but that I hear repeatedly again and again and again, is the Prophet ﷺ when he said, اطلبوا العلم ولو بالصين. Although it is considered a hadith da'if, yes? That the Prophet ﷺ said that seek knowledge even if you have to go all the way to China. Now, during those days, it was almost impossible to get to China. Long travel, yeah? It wasn't easy. What I want you to understand is that knowledge or seeking knowledge is something that is considered a priority in Islam. There is a quote or saying, اطلب العلم من المهدي إلى اللحد. As a Muslim, as a believer, you supposed to, or you should seek knowledge from the cradle, like since you're a baby until you go to your grave. So this idea of that I'm going to go to school and I'm going to learn, then one day I'm going to go college, university, and then I'm going to stop learning. Yes, education is done. And then I'm going to live my life is not a lifestyle, is not a Muslim or Islamic concept. Barakallahu feekum. Muslim is someone who continuously learns, who never stops learning. For example, I'm a Qur'an teacher. There's no age limit to my students. I have students as young as 3 years old, and I have students over 50 years old. And yes, when I finished my Qur'an and we were in a massive gathering, there was a man who was 75 years old, and he just started memorizing Qur'an, and he just passed his 5 ajza. So he memorized 1/6 of the Qur'an, and he was in that gathering. And he got his medal, mashallah, tabarakallah. So as old as a 75-year-old can start learning, yes, he can. Yes, she can. So knowledge is something very noble, something very important to a Muslim. Today, inshallah ta'ala, mashallah, you guys are good at predicting these things. We are going to talk about a Muslim invention. And we are talking about university. And university in Arabic is jami'ah. If you ever go to one of these Arab countries, Jami'at al-Azhar, Jami'at this and Jami'at that, yeah? Jami'ah is a word that is also used for Jami' Masjid. Yes? And I'll explain inshallah ta'ala. Let's write this word together inshallah ta'ala. Jami'ah means university. Jim, Alif, Mim, Ain, Ta marbuta. Jami'ah. Jami'ah. From word Jam'. Yeah? This word is very close to a word that is coming tomorrow. And that is Yawmul Jum'ah. Jum'ah. Friday. Why do we call it Jum'ah? People gather in a masjid. Jami'ah is a place where people gather. Yes? So Jami'ah, a university, and also this is a word that is used, yeah? In a lot of Arab countries, they would say, not just masjid, they would say masjid wa jami'at such and such. Normally, what it means when we say Jami'ah is university, but this word is also used for masjid where people actually pray Jum'ah because it gathers a lot of people. Are you guys with me? Barakallahu feekum. Now, today I want to talk about, someone's saying Morocco. Yes. Boys and girls, did you know university, today, when we talk about higher education, we talk about universities. But did you know the concept of university, yes, was introduced by a Muslim? You didn't know that. This is not good. In 1859, a young princess named Fatima, oh, she was a woman, Al-Farhi, founded the first degree grading university in Fez in Morocco. Allahu Akbar. Did you guys know that? Okay, mashallah. Well, next time you meet a Moroccan brother or sister, you should know that these are the people who established the first ever university in the world. Allahu Akbar. Let's see what else. Her sister Maryam founded an adjacent mosque, and together the complex became the Al-Qayrawiyyin Mosque and University. So, if we go back here, boys and girls, this university, not this, it looks different. I'll show you the picture. This university wasn't just a university, it was also a jami' masjid. So, both together. What else? 1,200 years later, it is hoped that the center will remind people that learning is at the core of the Islamic tradition, and that the story of the Al-Farhi sisters will inspire young Muslim women around the world. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Now, Sister Fatima started this because she was inspired as a Muslim, right? She was inspired to seek knowledge. Why? Because this is something our religion, yes, this is something our religious encourage us to do as Muslims. Seek knowledge. I'll tell you guys something very, very interesting. In the first battle of Islam, Ghazwat al-Badr, when non-believers lost against Muslims, and it was a great victory because believers were 1/3 less than the non-believers. 313 believers on one side versus 1,000 on the other side. 1,000 men who were well prepared. The army was well prepared. Here's what happened. Muslims, they win that fight. Allahu Akbar. Yeah? By the mercy of Allah. And then they had prisoners. They had prisoners. So there was 70 of them, if I remember correctly, 70 or 90. These prisoners were from non-believers, Meccans. They came to Medina. Now, these prisoners, they were allowed to go free if they teach 10 of the Sahaba, or if I remember correctly. They were allowed to go back to Mecca if they teach 10 of the Sahaba what? How to read and how to write. Why? Because back in the days, Arabs did not read and write. There was no such thing as paper. Paper was not something easily available. Yes? People, majority of the people did not read and write. So at that time, knowledge was considered so important by the Prophet Muhammad and the Sahaba that they were willing to set an army or people who were attacking against them free if they teach them how to read and write. Allahu Akbar. We move on. The university concentrates on the Islamic, religious and legal sciences with a heavy emphasis on and particular strength in classical Arabic grammar, linguistics and Maliki law. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to quickly show you image of this. I'm going to show you very quickly, inshallah ta'ala, Jami'at al-Qayrawiyyin. I hope I find an image. There we go. So this is the university that is considered to be the first university in the world. Okay. If I can find a good image of this. Yeah, the ones I'm finding quite blurry. Let's see if we have anything else we can learn. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Now, what is it that you guys know about this particular university, Jami'at al-Qayrawiyyin? Maybe if I type first university in the world. First university in the world. There we go. We find some beautiful images of this university. Have a look at this. Aha! This is the university. I mean, it looks more like a masjid, no? Yeah, it looks quite interesting. Someone is saying, I just finished studying classical Arabic, mashallah. Let me see if I can find you guys few more images of this Jami'ah. Ooh, I need an admission in this university, guys. Huh? What are you guys saying? If I take you to this place, would you guys sit and learn? Huh? Okay, interesting, isn't it? So this is the Jami'ah, this is the university, and we as Muslims, we're proud of the fact that it was a Muslim who established a university. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, boys and girls. So, drop your comments, and inshallah ta'ala, we can go to our next segment, because I know a lot of you waiting to recite. Boys and girls, may Allah bless you all, and we can go inshallah ta'ala to our next segment, and it is going to be a Tajweed segment. Ahlan wa sahlan. Boys and girls, we'll be going for a short break inshallah ta'ala in 4 minutes. Before I go on a break inshallah, let me teach you an important Tajweed rule in Surah At-Takwir, and then when we come back from a break inshallah ta'ala, we are going to get the callers to call in and recite. Let's do this inshallah ta'ala real quick, boys and girls, and here comes the phone number. You can call me in, guys, start calling me in right now if you wish to recite. Barakallahu feekum. Okay, where's the Qur'an? Today I'm a bit slow. There we go. Boys and girls, Surah At-Takwir. And let's learn a Tajweed rule. Barakallahu feekum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس. Barakallahu feekum. Yesterday, I taught you a whispering letter, and that was ta. Today, I'm going to be teaching you another whispering letter. Focus with me. I'm saying bil khunnas. Sin is a whispering letter only when it's silent. Al jawaril kunnas. Sin is a whispering letter. As. And then tanaffas. So sin is a whispering letter. Barakallahu feekum. Now you may ask me a question and say, Ustad, but here sin has a kasra and a fatha. How is it a silent letter? Boys and girls, I thought you know. When we stop at the end of the ayah, last letter becomes a silent letter. So it's not khunnasi, it is khunnas. It's not kunnasi, it is kunnas. It's not asa, it is just as. Barakallahu feekum. Let's go straight to our recite and reflect segment. Boys and girls, in this segment, inshallah ta'ala, we are going to be listening to some beautiful recitations. I'm going to bring up a number on the screen here, inshallah ta'ala. And just before I go on a break, let me show you some beautiful notes that you guys sent me yesterday. And let's have a look at them, inshallah ta'ala. And one of you guys, inshallah ta'ala, is going to be the top artist of today. And we're going to share your work, inshallah ta'ala, across our social media platforms. Bismillah. Shall we have a look? Bismillah. Now, these are notes from yesterday. Yesterday, we were learning some different segments, and I'm going to start with here. If you guys remember yesterday, we were drawing a mihrab. We were drawing a mihrab yesterday, and we were learning about a creation of Allah. طيب. So this is by Isa. This is by Farzana, mashallah. And this is also by Farzana. Ooh, mashallah, tabarakallah. This is by Naza. And I've got a few more after a short break. Boys and girls, I'll see you guys after a short break. Stay with us. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, boys and girls, to Madrasah TV show. I'm going to show you some more beautiful drawings of our students, mashallah. This is by Naza, Allah bless you, and Salihah. That's the drawing of Mihrab. And then we have Abdul Rahim. Parinda. Means bird. Maryam Jazim, mashallah, tabarakallah. And look at this one, Aminata. Well done. Mihrab on the left side and a bird on the right side. And this is from our, I think, Tuesday segment, Muslim World. May Allah bless you. Boys and girls, one of these is going to be a calligrapher or the top student of the day. We're going to reveal that, inshallah ta'ala, on our social media, so keep an eye. Back to Recite and Reflect segment. And let's go straight to our first caller. Verse number 10 to verse number 18 from Surah At-Takwir. Maryam Jazim, assalamu alaikum.
Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Maryam, how are you today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well, and how are you?
I'm very well, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. تفضلي يا مريم.
حسنا إن شاء الله تعالى. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah, extraordinary badge. Next caller is Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
وعليكم السلام.
حياك الله يا محمد، كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله.
يا أهلا وسهلا. Is Kenan reciting? Maybe Adam later.
Okay, إن شاء الله.
Muhammad, come closer to the phone. Make sure you're not on a loudspeaker. Starting from وَإِذَا الصُّحُفُ نُشِرَتْ all the way to وَالصُّبْحِ إِذَا تَنَفَّسْ. تفضل.
Okay, إن شاء الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah ya Muhammad. Ha, is Adam reciting? Ha, Kenan? He's going to call them. I think he's going to call them. Boys and girls, we'll go to next caller and we'll come back to Muhammad. Ikram, assalamu alaikum. Ikram,
Alaikum assalam.
how are you today? Alhamdulillah. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, fine.
تفضل يا إكرام، تفضل.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أهدرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنس والصبح إذا تنفس صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. والسبح, it is well صبحي. Sod, not seen. Allah bless you. Who else is reciting with you? Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Ustaz Hamza.
Abdul Wahid,
Yes,
how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very well, alhamdulillah. تفضل.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس والجبال
فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس.
فلا أقسم بالخنس أو الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. ما شاء الله تبارك الله. And who's next? Hafsa? السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم نزا.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
How are you today?
I am fine, alhamdulillah.
Who's reciting first?
Me.
Go ahead.
Okay, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. فرزانة السلام عليكم. Very good Naza. Extraordinary.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, Ustad?
I'm very well, and how are you?
I am fine, alhamdulillah.
Can you recite on your own?
No.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا
وإذا
الصحف
الصحف
نشرت
نشرت
وإذا
وإذا
السماء
السماء
كشطت
كشطت
وإذا
وإذا
الجحيم
الجحيم
سعرت
سعرت
وإذا
وإذا
الجنة
الجنة
أزلفت
أزلفت
علمت
علمت
نفس
نفس
ما
ما
أحضرت
أحضرت
فلا
فلا
أقسم
أقسم
قلقلة أقسم
أقسم
بالخنس
بالخنس
الجوار
الجوار
الكنس
الكنس
والليل
والليل
إذا
إذا
عسعس
عسعس
والصبح
والصبح
إذا
إذا
تنفس
تنفس.
Well done ما شاء الله تبارك الله. السلام عليكم عيسى.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, Ustaz?
I'm very well. How are you, Isa?
Alhamdulillah.
Let's read together. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
وإذا
وإذا
الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء
السماء
كشطت
نشرت
وإذا الجحيم
الجحيم
سعرت
سعرت
وإذا الجنة
الجنة
أزلفت.
وسلفت.
May Allah bless you. Let's go to Azhar. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. How you, Mr.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا
فلا
أقسم
أقسم
بالخنس.
بالخنس.
May Allah bless you. Last call of the day. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum Rahima.
عليكم السلام.
Welcome to the show, Rahima. We'll get you to recite straight away. Go ahead.
إن شاء الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس.
Allah, Tabarakallah. May Allah bless you. Is Abdul Razak reciting? No.
عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام. تفضل.
إن شاء الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا البحار سجرت.
Starting from وإذا الصحف. Okay. Abdul Razak will hear your recitation tomorrow. Boys and girls, may Allah bless you all. Barakallahu feekum. For those of you who called in to recite, you guys are awesome. And for those of you who send your calligraphy, your artwork, you guys are fantastic. I'm going to share your work, inshallah ta'ala, with you all tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow is Friday. We're going to do recap of the whole week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.